Hello everyone and welcome back to Used and Reviewed. In this video we're going to be doing a quick review of the FujiFilm Finepix S4200 camera. Now this is a bridge camera. I've had it for a couple of weeks now, and for those that aren't aware what a bridge camera is, essentially the features that you'd get in a compact camera and not quite a full SLR in terms of changeable lenses. This sits right in the middle, hence called a bridge. So you get some of the benefits from both sides of the camera really. So in terms of this actual camera, this is part of the S range, and the 4200 is a camera that's got a 24x optical zoom. Now as you go up in the range, essentially the features change, but the main difference really is the optical zoom. So the next one up has got a 26x, then a 28x, then a 30x. So the 4200 has got a 24mm wide lens, so it's not only great for taking shots from a normal distance, but the macro shots you can take with this camera are excellent. The lens itself is 24x optical zoom, so I'll just show you here. So not only, as I said, you can take great macro shots, when you're taking shots from distance the zoom comes into its own. Now I've taken some shots and I'm going to put a link in the description, so you want to check them out after this review. I've taken a number of shots with for macro level for example, but also using the lens and the full zoom of the camera to show you what you're likely to expect. It's one of the great features of the camera, to be honest, and I really like the zoom on it. It's very powerful and you get some very clear shots. Even when you're zooming in right all the way out to 24x, when you actually look in the LCD screen, the image will appear blur until you then half press the shutter button and the autofocus kicks in, and what you do get is a very sharp image from a great distance. In terms of resolution, the camera's 14 megapixels, so it takes excellent photographs, really good quality. I'm very pleased with it, and you can do so in a number of different aspect ratios. So from a standard 4:3, you probably get around 1200 photographs in the fine mode on an 8GB card, and probably around 2300 in the normal mode at that aspect ratio. There's also an aspect ratio for 3.2 and 16.9 for widescreen photographs. At 16.9 you probably get around 1500 photographs from a 4GB memory card, and just over 3000 in the normal mode. So sorry, the 1500 would have been in the fine mode. Now the camera itself I think is really nicely designed. It fits in the hand well. I really like the grip on the side here. Hopefully you can see that, a little indent there. So it's got a very SLR style design to the camera. The lens is on the left hand side, and you'll find that you can hold the lens and the camera with one hand on the left and you can grip it on the right. In terms of weight, it's around about 543 grams in weight, so it's not too heavy. You're going to be lugging it around probably with the strap that's included around your neck. So it's heavy enough, but it's not too heavy. I do like a little bit of weight to my gadgets. That's just a personal preference. I like to feel that it's well made, and this certainly is. In terms of the LCD screen, it's 3.0 inches in size, and I have to admit it's an excellent screen. I think it's a resolution around 230,000 dots, and some of the images, as I'll show you, some of the images that I've taken, they're very sharp. It's a very crisp LCD screen. Now here's an example actually of the zoom that I was talking about earlier. So here's a long distance shot with cliffs in the background, and there's a full 24x zoom. You can actually make out people actually on the top of the cliffs. So here's another example, a zoomed in boat, and that's the out zoomed version. So the zoom on it's absolutely magnificent. Not only can you zoom right in at 24x optical, but you can also, using the zoom lever at the top, you can also zoom in digitally as well. And this camera's also got 6.7 digital zoom, so I mean you can really zoom into your subject. I mean, I can even read the writing on the side of this boat, and when you actually consider the original distance an image was there, you can see how good the zoom actually is. Again, please check out the links below and have a look at some of the photos that I've taken to demonstrate the zoom. Now, the other thing I really like about this camera is not only the LCD screen, but you also have the option to switch to the electronic viewfinder. Now, this is great option, and you do so with the button here. So if you are outdoors and there's a bit of glare on the screen and you can't see the image that you're trying to take a photograph of, you can quickly flick to the electronic zoom. It's fantastic, and it helps you to really position your images when you're taking those photographs. In terms of the actual settings on the camera, there's a wealth of modes available, and you can change through most of them using the dialer on the top here. So I'll quickly take you through the dialer and also the interface to show you what sort of options you can actually change. So if we start here, the first one we've got is SR Auto. So it's actually going to automatically detect the type of scene that you're taking a photograph of, and it'll adjust the settings various to that scene. So if it's a night shot, then it will switch to night mode, for example. You've then got Auto Mode, which is an automatic mode to setting according to the certain conditions, and you can change a lot of the features when you've changed your dialer by pressing the menu button here. And what you'll notice is that only the features that are available to that particular setting will actually be available. So for example, we can't change the ISO. You can see that it's actually greyed out. But we do have access to a number of other items, such as the image quality, image size, and whether or not you want standard shot, chrome, or in black and white. Next one is automatic mode with programmed setting. So again, I'll just quickly show you. As you can see, some of the menu items are now lit, so you can actually change the ISO, white balance, sharpness, etc, etc. Next is automatic mode with the user setting the shutter speed. Then we've got automatic mode with user setting the aperture, so aperture priority. You then got a manual mode where you set both the shutter speed and the aperture. The custom mode, so shoot mode with user settings, and again you're going to have access to a wealth of features in the menu. You've got movie recording, which I'll come back to in a moment. You've got Panorama Mode, and Panorama is basically taking 3 consecutive images to create one panoramic shot. You can do that either automatically, or you can set it so that you actually take the photographs, each photograph with the shutter release button. You've got zoom bracketing. Oh, actually, this mode is actually scene selection. So if you press the menu button, you can actually decide what type of scene you're taking. So the first one we've got here is zoom bracketing, where you'll have 3 images taken consecutively with one shot with full frame, then 2 that are cropped slightly closer in. You've got a text mode for taking shots with clearer text and lettering, one for taking vivid shots of flowers, party mode, beach shots, snow, sunset, fireworks, taking vivid images of fireworks, and that obviously sets a slower shutter speed. You've got 2 different night modes, one with the use of a tripod, which going to give you clear shots of night scenery, and one without. Now, I've had different levels of success with the night mode, and I think you're going to have to really play around with the camera and the settings to get the best out of it, and truth be told, you're going to need a tripod really. There's a sport mode for shooting fast moving objects, landscape mode, shoot and smile, where it detects a smile of a person and it'll automatically take the shot. A baby mode, suitable for natural skin, without flash. Portrait mode, a natural light, and then there's a natural and flash, so it takes 2 images of the same shot, and one with the flash and one without, and then we're back to zoom bracketing. So if I just quickly go back to the movie recording, now for me this is probably one of the disappointing aspects of the camera. The camera itself can take film footage of up to a resolution of 1280 by 720. So it's HD, but it's not quite HD, it's around the 720p mark. You're probably going to get around 35 minutes on an 8 gig card, or so the specification says in the book. As you can see in the top right hand corner, I can get about 9 more minutes from this particular mode. It recommends that you also use a class 4 SD card to make sure that you get the best from your HD recording. The thing I don't really like about the movie recording, not necessarily the video footage, which is okay, it's adequate, it's actually the microphone. There's only one microphone under here, so it's mono recording for the sound, and when I've taken footage it's been very muffled. There's been a lot of hissing and crackles, and to be honest it's below par. And not something I'd expect to get really from a camera. Having said that, I've already got a HD camcorder which I take all my footage on, so I wouldn't be using this to record HD footage. The other disappointing aspect I think of the camera is also the battery life. Now the manual says you're probably going to get around 400 shots, 400 to 500 shots. I don't think I've got quite that many out of the batteries. It takes 4 AA batteries, and I think the first thing you're going to want to do is get some rechargeables. I've got some on order. Definitely after having only used it for a couple of weeks, you definitely want some rechargeables. I think the only thing really to show you now is probably the pop-up flash. Position wise, I know it's positioned over the lens, which can be a bit of an issue, but some of the shots I've taken so far in night using the flash mode have been fine and fairly adequate. So to summarise, guys, it's a great camera, and it's a camera for those that want more than a standard compact camera but don't want to blow a hell of a lot of money on a digital SLR. It takes some excellent photographs, and there's a really impressive zoom on there. I love the electronic viewfinder. It's a great feature, it works well, and the general flexibility in the features that you get from the camera, from the panoramic shots to black and white shots, continuous shooting and that type of thing. Slightly let down by the video recording, and you're definitely going to want to get some batteries for this, and I mean rechargeable batteries. So guys, I hope you like the video. You can pick this camera up for around about 130 to 140 pounds now, or in the US about $175. I think it's excellent value for money. Especially if you're looking for more than a standard compact camera. I hope you like the video. Please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video.